All right, welcome to the movie siblings. I'm Farai,
I'm Trisha.
and we're gonna dive right into the spoiler edition of our Protege review. And again, this is the spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you can go watch it. Come right back. This video will be right here for you. But we're about to go really deep into the movie right now. So again, this is your last and final spoiler warning. All right. So let's just dive right in here, Trish. So first and foremost, let's just talk about the plot. Like, what did you think of the plot? What did you think of how the story started?
The start of the story was like it had me intrigued.
Hmm.
Like, okay, what's gonna happen with this movie? Like, I was really intrigued. So they did a good job of drawing me in and getting me interested in staying to watch the movie.
Okay, so what exactly was it? Like, what exactly? Like, hey, here the spoiler edition, so you can talk movie points. Like, what exactly? What was the nitty gritty that got you in, that sucked you in immediately like
You know, you know what? You know how it starts. The people being killed, right?
that? Mm-hmm.
And Samuel L. Jackson walks in with that tacky mustache. I did not like. I mean, I get that they were trying to make him look young, but
But it didn't work at all. It did not work at all. That mustache was awful. That was a bad prop.
it was
Who
so
whoever was
tacky. I was
whoever
like,
whoever was
in
costume
the
designing there
world?
just did a poor job right there. That was awful. That was absolutely
But
awful.
he walks in and the way they made it to where these sounds were coming from the other room. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh Lord,
Yeah,
we finna have
yeah.
action right
Hmm.
here. And then it wasn't action, but the whole little girl in the
Hmm.
wardrobe. Well, I was like, okay, okay. What's gonna happen with this little girl? So, and then they walked away, and that's how the movie starts. So
Yeah.
it really piqued my interest, and so I was like, okay, I want to see what happened next.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
me, it was the mystery because I was like, how did this little girl pull it off? Because Samuel L. Jackson just comes in and is like, oh, you killed her. And yeah, and I was like, one of the things that I was wishing, which I'm glad they did towards the end, was show me how it all went down because I was so
right?
curious as to as to how did this little girl wind up killing all these guys, and they.
And then okay, so when she tried to shoot at Samuel L. Jackson,
Mhm.
and it was like the safety was on or whatever the case was.
Uh-huh.
So at the back of my mind, I'm like, that little girl didn't do all that.
No, no.
Somebody
So
else did.
no, so they were saying that the gun jammed. He was saying,
Oh,
yeah, he was saying that the gun jammed. So he was like, he like fixed it real quick and then gave it back to her.
I mean, okay,
It
it jammed.
happens. It happens. I've been shooting weapons now for a little bit. Gun jams
Uh,
do happen. Gun jams do happen.
yeah. Okay, okay, Sergeant.
So yeah, gun jams do happen. That was to me totally believable. That like, hey, that was something that could happen. But yeah, I
No,
was
no,
just
no.
totally.
But in that moment for me, I was like, this little girl didn't do all that.
Hmm.
Somebody else did, and then she just found a gun and hid in the closet.
Yeah, that makes sense to you. That
It
makes sense
still
to you.
piqued my interest. Like, okay, what happened,
Hmm.
and how does this little girl fit into this whole movie?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and then from there they go cut right into the future. We move like 30 years now, and then they start with them planning their next kill. And I knew exactly, like, with everything that was going on, I was like, I knew that this was all a setup just to get to that dude. And I was just like, it was just right there. But in the way that it was orchestrated, I just really, I really enjoyed that about spy movies and about assassins and stuff like that. Is how are they going to get to their kill, and what's going to happen when they get there. So that was just really well put together. Their whole plan. It really worked for me in that moment.
Well, I was laughing at I mean, to myself in that whole scene because I was like, since when do we have honor amongst thieves? When they let the
Yeah, $3
three,
million. dollars.
since when? That could have been some little extra change, you know?
I'm like, yeah, especially when they only got paid 7 million for it. I was like, man, 3 million, that's like, half your money right there.
Had extra coins. So I was like, since when is there honor amongst thieves? But it was still a good plot. It really was.
Yeah. And so like when she like just and I like in those moments just to like just show me what I can expect from my protagonist is them to just really kick some butt quickly and efficiently. And they did that in that scene. Like the choreography of her just taking out all of those guys, how she did it swiftly, it was
Like
flawless.
bang bang
But
bang.
yeah,
But
yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. It was just like, okay, this is going to be, this is just going to be the type of level of action that we can like see and we can get used to. So when she finally fought somebody who was on her level, I was like, okay, this is just going to be like really just a great action scene, you know.
What I really loved was when she walked out after bang bang bang, and she walked out with so much confidence
Hmm.
because she knew Samuel L. Jackson was covering her
Uh-huh.
six. But man, I was like, okay, now where I get me Samuel L. Jackson so I can go do what I need to do, but know my six is covered.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. And so what did you think of the as we just kind of moved right along and then so we go into kind of them now setting up like what the mystery is gonna be for the whole movie and whatnot. How did you see that developing? Was it like intriguing to you? Was there enough mystery in there?
It was enough mystery. I have to say, I guess the action and them just laying out the meat to the movie, they had me guessing the whole time. I did not figure out the whole what was his name? Edward
Yeah. It,
Edward Link until like the very moment Samuel L. Jackson revealed it. I was like, ah, this whole time, how did I
yeah.
not get that? So yeah, I mean, they laid it out very decently, I must say, very decently.
So did you think Samuel was dead? In that moment when she goes and she finds him in there,
I
did you think
really
he was dead?
did. I really did. I was like, how in the world are they gonna
Yeah.
kill off the black person before half, before we even get to half the movie? So they got me good on that one. They got me good.
Yeah, they did too. Yeah, I was like completely like, man, he's
So
done.
that long.
I thought he was gone. That twist totally got me. I was just like, wow, like they got him so early. But I was like, dude is old. He's sick. I was just like, it makes sense.
As he used to be. So,
Yeah.
they believable. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it to them. They got me good. They got me good.
So for me, actually, the movie really didn't start to pick up until Michael Keaton showed up. Like when he showed up, the chemistry that they had, that whole back and forth, their like their rapport, it just all of it just totally worked for me. It was just something that was to me unique and fresh that you really don't see much in like assassin movies and stuff.
It was not all that new to me. I knew there was something off about him the
Well, yeah,
moment he showed.
yeah, he's a bad guy, but I definitely knew, like, I wasn't expecting the level of spark and romance that they injected into the movie. I just didn't expect that. I just thought he was gonna be a
I
prototypical,
know
bad guy.
they're gonna work him into her life like that. That really did not surprise me at all. I
It
was
did
like, oh,
surprise you.
okay,
He's there,
yeah,
them having a relationship didn't surprise you at all.
no, no,
No,
no.
you were just kind of like,
Okay, so I thought that he was gonna fall in love. I wasn't expecting the tap two in the back of your head and go eat breakfast.
yeah.
I was like, dang, like okay now, like I'm definitely not gonna ever date an assassin because you in the back of your
Professional.
head and then I'm gonna eat breakfast. Like who
Uh,
does that?
well, professional assassins. What do you expect?
Well, yeah, nah, yeah, no, definitely not a profession for me, and definitely not anybody that I would ever date. Like, that was a little too much for me.
That's too much for you.
Jungle out here.
Yeah. Uh, for me, I it just totally worked. I enjoyed their whole little romance, their whole uh back and forth, their rapport, their dialogue to each other. I totally felt all the sexual tension there. I was totally digging it. I was totally digging it every
I mean,
single time they
yes,
were
there
on
was.
screen together. It was just for me quite electric.
I mean, it worked. Their dynamic worked for the movie, and it worked. You know, it just made for a good movie. It
Hmm.
just made for a good movie. Like they worked it in really well, and yeah, everything worked out. I like even the setup at the party. I really thought she was gonna die at the party.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was like, okay, she's gonna die. And then Samuel L. Jackson says he wasn't finna leave. I was like, well, dang, they're gonna kill off both the main actors. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
it
for me, I was kind of disappointed that he came back just to die again. I was like, I've already been through this once with you, Samuel. It was, you already got me in the fields once, and then you're gonna get me
that
in the fields
didn't really
again.
bother me. The second death didn't really bother
What?
me at all.
It didn't bother.
It
It bothered me.
didn't bother me. I was like, especially because she knew, I guess they had talked about it and
Hmm.
she had come to terms with it.
Hmm.
Because even when Michael Keaton was asking her, like, why didn't you kill Ed at the
Hmm.
party? And she was like, that was never the plan. I'm like, oh, so they had already planned that this is how it was going to work out. So the fact that he died didn't really bother me that much a second. The fact that he died a second time, it didn't bother me that much.
I was like, you already, like if you're just gonna kill him off in the end, you should have just stayed dead. Why bring him back just to kill him off?
So who was going to save her? Who was going to save her if it wasn't him?
Like that's where you could have just had that whole, him really fall hard. Michael Keaton be, the new, savior for her, who's like, got her six. I'm just saying, it could have it
He had already said he was going to put two in the back of her
hey,
head
hey,
before that. So
he can change
that
his mind.
really worked.
He can change his mind. They had sex now.
I don't know about all that. Mm-mm. I don't know about all that.
so
Mm-mm.
so what is this blooper at the end that I missed? What happened at the end that I totally missed?
So, you know how she walked into this building like she had not been shot, never, not been hurt or anything? She walked in there tall and I'm like, were you not just about to roll on the floor 2 seconds ago?
Well, yeah, she got a second wind, Trish.
Second wind, my foot. Second wind. It was a good in the movie time. It was a good 10 minutes that she walked into this building, walked through the building, and she was walking tall, like she's not hurt. She had not been shot. I was like, and then she after they did the shots where they shot at each other and she walks out, there was somebody walking upstairs.
Yeah, you know, they
He's
just,
not dead.
I, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a blue, but I would just say they were just wanting to make the ending more, triumphant in her being able to just escape, like like nothing really happened to
So what? So they both escaped. They shot at each other. He walked
her.
out
Uh huh.
through the.
Uh huh.
Nah,
They
come on
both
now.
escaped.
That is so not believable.
Well,
Not believable.
you got to do something when you're trying to set up a potential sequel, which is really all that they were doing with that ending, was trying to set up a potential sequel for the future. Which would you want to see a sequel though?
I mean, yeah, there is potential for a sequel. Would I want to see Michael in it? Not so much.
Oh no! I'm like, at this point you cannot have the sequel without Michael in it. It's got to Michael.
Why not?
You got to have Michael in it
There's
somehow.
bad guys everywhere. There's bad
No, you
guys.
gotta have my this. This is more than a bad guy. This is a romantic interest that she could have killed but didn't. He has got to be in the
Oh,
movie
he
somehow.
survived.
Yeah, he survived. He totally
Ah,
survived. We did not see him die on screen, so he's definitely alive.
uh, mm, I mean, okay. If he had died, it would not have bothered me. Plain
It
and
would have totally bothered me. I totally want to see where this relationship goes. I don't think it's gonna last, but I totally want to see where this relationship goes. I do.
mm,
I totally do. It was totally working for me.
mm,
I want to see the ups and downs of this assassin relationship. Show it to me. Give it to me in a sequel. I totally want to see that. Them potentially being assigned to like the same target, and then having to like fight for that, or trying to get the kill or something. I would definitely want to see that. I think that would be totally interesting.
mm. I don't know, but all I have to say is, if when they bring a sequel, they better bring it. I don't want a whole F series sequel thing going on where the storyline just gets lost in them trying to outdo themselves. I want them to like really bring it like they brought it in this first movie. They brought enough action, but now they're gonna have to go hard as far as
Yeah.
the
Oh
action.
yeah. Yeah. We definitely want her at another level. We definitely want more hard hitting action scenes. I would really also like them to bring in another female assassin as a villain, like somebody else that like she who is like at her type of level. Maybe even bring in somebody like attached to this somehow. I don't know, but like something where there's another female badass just as her, who can bring it just as tough as her, and can actually give her a run for the money. I would like to see that. Maybe,
Black Widow.
huh? Maybe, yes, maybe, Black Widow. Hey, but I'm okay. You know what? I just thought of this, and this would be like perfect. This is how you can integrate Michael Keaton in it. Is that this is Michael Keaton's ex? Like, he was dating another assassin beforehand, and now it's not only the fact that like she's the villain that she's going against. There's also that they want to like she wants to prove herself that like she's just better than her. better than
Um,
our girl Maggie Q. I think that would be dope.
it could work. It could work if they bring more action than they brought in
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Widow.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. Like I totally think like that would be highly entertaining and highly interesting.
it would. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it it could work. It could work.
Mm.
It's a solid thought.
Okay, so what was your favorite scene in the movie? Like, what scene kind of stood out to you more than any other scene?
The killing of the big tycoon or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like that was solid for me. I was like, okay, now she do her thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then um uh the dinner, their conversation
Oh,
at
the
the
dinner
dinner.
conversation. You see, I told you, man. Their
Exchange was
dynamic,
fantastic.
their
Their exchange
dynamic
was
is just so dope. Yeah, that whole scene for me absolutely worked. Having the gun and his balls, him pulling out the gun, the back and forth. I was just like,
yeah, the dinner was just the exchange was oh yeah, yeah, definitely. And then and then the meet with the top tycoon in Vietnam,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What was his name?
where he used the bikers.
Uh huh. Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
That
yeah.
was yeah, that was good too. Yeah. So yeah, those were my top picks from.
Your tops, yeah. For me, definitely the dinner scene, them back and forth, the weapon. That for me was just like them at their best in where this movie was just shine for me was just their dynamic, and it worked for me throughout the movie. I just want to see more of it. I totally just want to see them going back and forth, trying to outwit each other with their words and their comebacks. I am totally all for that. I am all for that in another movie. If if
Yeah.
it's if they do wind up having another one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, more action in the second one. Definitely more action.
All right, so these were our thoughts about Protege. We want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what you think, what your thoughts were, what your
Yes.
movie experience was like, and obviously we will definitely catch you on the next one.